Hello, lovely students. I welcome you to today's class. This is Management and Organization 2. Because we undertook Management and Organization 1 last semester, we're going to go through the second part of Management and Organization. Now, our first lesson is going to be on business organizations. And for the purpose of this class, I would want to share my screen with you so that you can be able to follow through as the lecture goes on. All right, so you have my screen there. I believe that you can see the screen clearly. Great. So business organizations, at the end of this lesson, I expect that you should be able to define business organizations. You should also be able to identify the characteristics of business organizations. And lastly, be able to differentiate between the two main types of business organizations that we have, which are for-profit and non-profit organizations. Right. So around us, everywhere, you find organizations. Okay, there are a lot of organizations that we see around, and what is unique about organizations is that they are meant to carry out commercial enterprises by providing goods and services to meet the needs of customers. So at the tail end of every business is the customer. The customer is always the focus of a business that is set up or an organization. Good. So we want to look quickly at the two types of organizations that we have. And before we go into that, we want to look at what is unique about organizations. And the first thing is that there's specialization of or division of work. So at every point in time, when you enter an organization, you realize that everybody has what they do. Okay, there's accounts, there's that HR, there's marketing. Everybody has a kind of special job that they do. And then every organization is goal oriented. There's no organization that doesn't have an aim. And the third thing is that people are what make up the organization. You can't have an organization without humans. So people are a very key component of organizations. Again, there's continuity. Every business seeks to stay on for a long time. And then businesses are, or organizations are deliberate. We set up organizations intentionally for a particular goal. Right. So now we quickly want to look at these two types that we have: non-profit organizations and what we call the profit organizations or for-profit organizations. What do you think are the main differences between these two types of businesses? Right. So what I have for you is that, good, I want to Okay, I think you can see clearly. So we look at certain factors. When we talk about the factors, we're looking at what, in which aspects we want to compare the two. So in terms of ownership, non-profit organizations are actually for the public in the sense that they are meant to help the public. So it's for the public. And in terms of for-profit, it's always for shareholders. So in terms of the ownership, anybody at all can decide to be a volunteer of a non-profit organization. However, for you to become a part or an owner of a for-profit organization, you have to be a shareholder. Again, the primary mission of non-profit organizations are to provide services needed by the society. On the contrary, for-profit organizations actually try to make profits for shareholders. And don't forget that the shareholders are the owners of the business. Okay, and therefore you can say that for the secondary mission with regards to non-profit is that they try to ensure there is a surplus, okay, in order to be able to continue its operations. And with the profit ones, they try to provide goods and services in a way that sustains the company. Again, in terms of revenue, NPOs, as you can say, non-profit organizations try to get contributions, grants, membership dues, program revenue. With the profit ones, what they do is that they sell products. So everything that they do is supposed to be sold. The products, the services. If you talk about products, you're talking about tangible materials that you can hold. If you talk about the services, those services are, the services are the kind of what do you call it? Things that they render to you as an individual. All right. So the workforce, in terms of workforce, with regards to the non-profit, a mix of paid and volunteers. So you have people being volunteers in the non-profit, and then also they have paid staff. With regards to the profit organizations, all their staff are paid. I don't know anybody who volunteers for a profit organization. They are definitely paid. In terms of accountability, the non-profit organizations are actually accountable to the public. So what it means is that the NGO or NPO is expected to render accounts to the general public. They must file annual information returns, all right? So this is unlike what happens in the profit organizations, because they actually are just accountable to their shareholders. If your money is not part of a business, I don't know how you will want to care about how the monies are being used. So shareholders have the right to know what is going on in the business. That is what makes them that's what makes them the owners. They have the right to be able to understand that, okay, this is how our money is being used. The last thing is in terms of the tax status. Non-profit organizations are actually exempted. So if you know any NGO, you can find out from them whether they pay taxes or not. They are not supposed to pay taxes, while the profit organizations are subject to income taxes. So on that note, I would want to say a very big thank you to you. These are the references. Thank you so much. And I believe that if you have any particular question concerning the profit organizations and the non-profit organizations, you would want to share it in the comment section whilst you prepare for the next class. Thank you so much. Bye.